weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel, where I'm going to be going through my honest review of Daredevil number 8. So strap on in, weirdos. Here we go. Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil has been one of my favorite comics for a bunch of years running, but unfortunately, that is no longer the case in 2023. To be honest, it hasn't been since Devil's reign ended in May of 2022. I won't say I hate what has happened since the book restarted with the new number 1, but I can tell you that it is no longer the first book I read every Wednesday. If Daredevil versus Punisher doesn't get me back on board, I'm kind of worried that nothing will, but we'll get into that after I ask you all to subscribe to the channel, like the video, enable the notifications, and comment below with what you thought of Daredevil number 8 and maybe Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil run in general. Let's start out with what are the credits and a little bit of recap. Daredevil number 8 is written by Chip Zdarsky, art by Marco Checchetto, colors by Matthew Wilson with Eric Arcianega, and way down below, letters by VC's Clayton Cowles. It's the Red Fist Saga Part 8. And here's a bit of the recap that is something we need to know. The Hand has kidnapped an unknown number of world leaders and replaced them with death-worshipping puppets. My favorite kind of puppets, actually. Usually anytime you get puppets, they're always going to do something wacky, right? Puppets are always up to no good, framing Elektra for the assassination of the President of the United States in the process. Emboldened by their new leader, the Punisher, the Hand has made their next move by kidnapping the son of one of Matt's new recruits, the criminal Bullet, forcing Matt and Elektra to finally take their fledgling army to war. And I love the idea that this play is, all right, we kidnap all of these world leaders, replace them with death-worshipping puppets, we frame Elektra. Now what is our big move? Let's kidnap the son of Bullet. Yeah, that doesn't really work out in the progression of things in my mind, but I guess that's how they roll. Now, the issue opens with a huge rain-soaked battle between the Fisk and the Hand, with a giant dragon smack dab right in the middle. As Matt waxes poetic between what good and bad men in heaven and hell are all about, I just sat there thinking about how a giant dragon kind of symbolizes how far this book has gotten from what I enjoyed about it in the past. Some may like the spectacle of a giant dragon in the middle of the battle here, and it does fit enough with the mystical goings-ons of the current situation, but I kind of miss the personal, gritty, street-level stories Chip Zdarsky was telling before that also allowed what seemingly was the big thing and the big draw that I had with this book, a lot of really good character moments. The overall story here, though, with Matt, Elektra, and their ragtag Fist team is okay. They're not just fighting the Punisher-led Hand, but trying to save Bullet's young son, Lance. That gives you some stakes, while also trying to free Bullet from the mind whammy he's in, because, you gotta have Bullet on your side or you're done. They do accomplish that, but at what cost? It's one of those winning the battle but losing the war situations, and by the end, they do limp away with everyone, especially Elektra, worse for wear. By the end, it just doesn't seem like they're really doing that much. Yeah, you have this fight. They do save Lance. They do end up grabbing Bullet, but overall, you get done and they just leave like, let's just head off from here and figure out what's next. It just does not seem like what had just happened was as big as maybe it should have been. By the end, though, I'm really struggling to care about what's going on overall. Matt has become a bit insufferable with his inner monologue. He's one of those guys that is like at the party and he's in the corner talking his philosophical mumbo jumbo, and you want to just go and slap him right upside the head, right? And the side characters, once the huge strength of this run, are not fleshed out much at all and feel more like props in Matt's No Bad Man Rehab Island experiment. People like Stiltman or Stegron, they're just there to deal with the situation at hand. Stiltman grabs Matt as he falls off the dragon. Stegron is trying to communicate with the dragon, but these don't feel like fleshed out characters. You're not getting the good work that we ended up at the beginning of this run. Even returning characters like Cole North feel less of what they were before. And I hope we do get more Electra, since she at least slices and dices instead of talking down to me, which I know is fully Matt's intention. I know he's saying that nonsense just to drive me personally insane. But just remember and just think, if you are a fan of this run, how great the book was, not just because of Matt, but more so at points because of Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, because of Cole when he first showed up, because of the Strom wins. All of these characters really did flesh out the book. It made it bigger, and it made it something that I had to read. Now it just feels like Chip Zdarsky has this, prison rehab message, and he's kind of shoving it into the story. And by the end, it's not really as engaging as it once was. And overall, this issue was a big fight scene with good art and a dragon, and me checking the page count a couple times, which is a telltale sign for me that I was pretty bored. I know that people still put this book up on a pedestal, but I have a sneaking suspicion it's because of how good the book used to be, not because of the quality of it now. I'm giving this issue a 6 out of 10. And really, the thing that saddens me the most about it is it feels like Chip Zdarsky is just going through the motions now to finish up this Fisk versus Hand story that he had been hinting at before and now wants to finish before he leaves this book completely. And that's something that is a shame, because it was, as I said, my favorite. Not one of my favorites. This was my favorite book in all of comics for a couple years running. So it has gotten to a point where still reading it, I still enjoy moments, but overall pretty bored with it. But let me know what you all think of it. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, enable the notifications. And as I said, let me know what you think of Daredevil number 8, the Chip Zdarsky run, all of that stuff in the comments below. But that is that, and I will talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.